Brian Tamaki calls himself an apostle. He stands on stages, bathed in light, preaching a gospel of prosperity, preaching a gospel of power. His creation, Destiny Church, isn't just a place of worship, it's an empire. It has its own school. It has its own social services. It even has a political arm, Vision New Zealand. It's a self-contained world built around one man's charisma and authority. But you know, when you start to pull back the curtain on this kingdom, a much darker, more complicated picture emerges. This isn't just about faith, it's about control. It's about money. It's about a brand of politics that really thrives on division. It's a story I keep circling back to because the questions are too important to ignore. The official narrative is one of empowerment. Destiny Church claims to lift people out of poverty. Destiny Church claims to lift people out of addiction. They wear the church's symbols. They dedicate their finances. But beneath this veneer lies a pattern many former members and watchdogs call deeply concerning. This essay is a critical look into that world. The term cult is loaded. When you listen to stories from those who left Destiny Church, it's a word that comes up repeatedly. Former members speak of a high-control environment where every aspect of life is scrutinized. They describe being told who to marry. They describe being told what to study. They describe being told how to vote. The Covenant of the Upright, a pledge of loyalty to Tamaki, was a key mechanism of this control. Ex-follower Richard Lewis told Stuff, "You had to ask permission to go on holiday." It was a form of control. This isn't spiritual guidance, it's psychological manipulation. It demands absolute obedience and isolates members from outside perspectives, including their own families who dared to question the church's authority. This control is reinforced by a constant stream of contradictory, often hateful rhetoric. A New Zealand Herald headline reads, "Brian Tamaki's sermon, Cry Baby Gays Can Go to Hell." This isn't the language of a shepherd, it's the language of a bully using a holy book as a weapon. The church's structure is built to protect Tamaki from dissent. Questioning the apostle is framed as questioning God himself. This creates a powerful disincentive for critical thought. Members who step out of line face public shaming. One anonymous former member described leaving as escaping. A key part of Brian Tamaki's recent strategy has been a pivot into politics, marked by a staunchly anti-migration stance. He paints New Zealand as being overrun, a nation losing its identity to outsiders. This rhetoric is a classic tool of the powerful. By creating a common enemy, the immigrant, he distracts his followers from the real sources of their economic struggles. It's far easier to blame a newly arrived family for a housing crisis than it is to confront systemic issues of wealth inequality. This is a deliberate misdirection, a political sleight of hand. The hypocrisy is breathtaking when you look at the money. While Tamaki preaches against the other, he lives a life of extravagant luxury funded by the very people he claims to champion. His followers, many of whom are on low incomes, are pressured into tithing 10% of their earnings. Reports have detailed how this money has funded a multi-million-dollar property portfolio, luxury cars, a lifestyle that looks more like a rock star's than a pastor's. A 2004 Sunday Star Times investigation revealed his $1,000 a day salary and lavish spending. This is the prosperity gospel in its most predatory form. Your sacrifice funds my paradise. The Bible repeatedly warns against the love of money and instructs leaders to be humble servants, not wealthy kings. Jesus famously drove the money changers from the temple, an act of righteous fury against those exploiting faith for financial gain. Tamaki, in stark contrast, has built his temple around the money changers. In the aftermath of the horrific 2019 Christchurch mosque attacks, New Zealand witnessed a powerful display of interfaith unity. Leaders from the Muslim community consistently preached a message of peace, forgiveness, solidarity. They opened their doors, shared their grief, and worked to build bridges in a time of immense pain. Imam Gamal Fuda's words resonated across the nation and the world. "We are broken-hearted, but we are not broken." This response, rooted in the core Islamic principles of compassion and community, offered a vision of how faith can be a profound force for good, healing, and social cohesion. This stands in stark, painful contrast to the narrative pushed by Brian Tamaki and Destiny Church. Where Islamic leaders in New Zealand built bridges, Tamaki builds walls. Where they preached unity, where they showed humility in the face of tragedy, he exhibits arrogance and opportunism. He has used national crises. One seeks to unite humanity, the other seeks to divide it for personal gain.